Good day, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Fiona Lohr. I am a life crisis therapist who works with people with eating disorders and stress and burnout symptoms. To all of you that have come back due to subscription, welcome back. And if you are new here, it is great to have you here. You have come to the right channel. Now, today I actually wanted to share a story with you. And it is something that crossed my mind because I was eating out at an all-you-can-eat restaurant with my boyfriend not too long ago. And it's actually something that hits really close to home, but it didn't hit close to home for a long time because I never gave it much thought. It's a story about my eating disorder and something that I did when I was younger to keep this eating disorder alive and kicking. And it's something that if you're going to be triggered, this is your trigger warning. I'd say opt out now. And on the other hand, I'd say listen, because this was me a few years ago. And today I am a healthy young individual who has a great relationship with food. I don't restrict anymore. I eat. I exercise for my mind. I don't exercise to burn calories. So yeah, last trigger warning, otherwise you're out. So this is actually a story about an all-you-can-eat restaurant. And every holiday we had with my parents, we'd always go and eat there because it was a lot of fun. And every time that we'd go, I would be really nervous because I would have to eat in front of my parents. And now, that wasn't really the problem because I had to eat in front of them every single day that I was home from the holidays. However, it also meant that I would be presented with a huge amount of food. And what happens in your brain when you are constantly depriving yourself of food, constantly ignoring the hunger signal? Well, when you are presented with such a large amount of food, people with bulimia, people with binge eating disorder, they go crazy. Why not eat all? Because it's a waste of food. We must try everything. It's out there, so why not enjoy it? And most of all, we do not want to cause a scene in front of our family and loved ones. So I would starve myself the entire day before going to this restaurant. And then at the moment that I was there, I would ravish. Like, there was no stopping me. And this had to do with the fact, like I said before, that the hunger signal was constantly, and not just that day, but constantly ignored. Hunger didn't exist. And at some point, your hunger signal kind of turns off, and it's in your limbic system. So this is the most reptile brain that you've got, right? This is the most basic part of your brain. It's from a long time ago. So I'd be presented with this amount of food, and I'd think, okay, I want to try everything because I want to taste it and I want to have it in my mouth and I want to enjoy it. But there was no enjoyment in going to these restaurants for me. It literally just stuff your face, get as much of it in your stomach as possible. Ignore every single signal that you are satisfied, that you are full, and then go and throw it back up. And then go again and again and again. And I know that to anybody who is not suffering from an eating disorder, this might sound crazy because why waste that amount of food? Why do that to yourself? But then again, an eating disorder simply isn't rational. So it's kind of like saying to somebody who's suffering from anorexia or bulimia or whatever eating disorder, why don't you just eat normally? Because normally doesn't exist in our brain at that very moment. And this is where I'm really proud of myself because it was actually, we were eating out for dinner and we were at this all-you-can-eat restaurant. And so I told my boyfriend this story and he literally looked at me like, you did what? And it wasn't a you did what judgingly. It was like, oh my gosh, you must have been in such a lonely, shitty place to go through that. And I mean, it was. It was really awkward lying to your parents. It was awkward and embarrassing to know that you were wasting so much food. It was sad to yourself that, damn, you were really malnourishing your body, and all of that together, it just made you feel like complete and utter shit. So, in that, I kind of tried to avoid these situations anyway, as much as I could. I mean, I lived with my parents. Like, when I wasn't at boarding school, I'd be at home for the holidays, and when we were home for the holidays, I'd eat with my parents every day. And I thought I was being super subtle about it. I thought they were not noticing it, and how stupid I was. I mean, of course they knew. but yeah, how do you tackle that as a parent? How do you say, gosh, this is horrible? I mean, they tried, but an illness is an illness, and especially mental illnesses are really difficult to cure. But the good part is that where we have taught our brain, I mean, it's operant conditioning, really, where starving yourself means that the number on the scale is going down, and if you've eaten this amount of food, well, you can still puke it up, and by puking it up, then the scale would still go down the next morning. And with the scale going down, it's literally this shot of dopamine in your head, like, yes, look at you go, girl, you are doing this. And for me, my eating disorder was a huge part of control. It was trying to diminish myself into nothingness. It was a way of coping with perfectionism and just wanting to be skinny and dissolve, like I said, dissolve into nothingness. And so coming back to this story, as I said, I never gave it much second thought because puking for me has become second nature. It became second nature. Right now it's not. And so when I was telling my boyfriend this story and I saw the shock in his face, I thought this is actually something that should be talked about a little bit more often, because just looking at the reactions or the comments I get from this video in my Instagram DMs or people close to me who send me a WhatsApp text saying, wow, I didn't know that that's what you went through, that that's how you felt. I thought, or even people saying, oh, wow, this happened to me too, or, oh, I relate so much. I think, wow, this is happening around us a lot more than we think. So why I'm sharing this story is because I want people to feel that it's okay what they're going through. It's not something to be ashamed of. I do think that it's something that people need to get help for, and that's where I come in. No, not even. If you want to go talk to a psychologist, talk to a psychologist. If you're okay with talking to a friend, then that is it, but it's something that needs to be talked about more often. Yeah, so going from eating, puking, to telling myself I'm having 3 dishes tonight, max 4, depending on how I feel. And then at the end of the meal thinking, well, I'm actually not quite satisfied yet because I have quite a big hunger nowadays, quite a big appetite. I thought, this is great, look at me go, and I don't have to go puke it up anymore. I don't have to restrict. I don't restrict before going to a restaurant. I don't count calories anymore because I don't have to, because I'm happy with myself. And because I've unlearned the behavior of constantly counting calories, constantly compensating, because it's all in our head, ladies, and men for that matter. And we don't have to be like this. So whatever you take away from this video, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope that maybe I've taught you something new. Maybe not. I don't know. However, I do hope you like and subscribe, and do leave a comment, because I'm very interested to know what you're thinking, where you're coming from, whether you do or do not relate. And yeah, that's about it. I'm wishing you a lovely day and hope to see you next week. Thank you.